fellow members, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and a warm welcome to the public lecture on the HKIE Outstanding Paper Award for Young Engineers and Researchers 2024. We are glad to have all of you here today, both at the HKIE headquarters and online, demonstrating your support for the impressive achievement of our young engineers and researchers. The HKIE Outstanding Paper Award for Young Engineers and Researchers is an international paper award organized annually since its first launch in 2006. This award encouraged young engineers and researchers to develop innovations, technologies, publish their achievements, and to promote the engineering profession among the younger generation. This award is open to young engineers and researchers aged 35 or below worldwide. Before the lecture commences, please switch off your mobile phones or set them to silent mode throughout the lecture. Please also take note of the emergency fire exits located at the back of this room. Last but not the least, some biscuits and beverage have been served at our common area. Please feel free to help yourselves. Now, may I introduce our first awardee, Engineer MUI Chi Kin. Engineer MUI is a project coordinator in the Harbor Area Treatment Scheme Division of the Drainage Services Department, focusing on sewage projects. He will present his award paper on application of single-site, multiple-use in a sewage project, a breakthrough trial in Kwun Tong sewage pumping station. Let's welcome Engineer MUI.
Good evening. This is John from the Drainage Services Department, DSD. Today, I'm going to present the highlights of the project of enhancements works for the Kwun Tong sewage pumping station, which was recently completed. This is the content of my presentation today. I'll first introduce the background and the key features of this project, and then I will discuss different aspects. East Kowloon is developing as a Hong Kong's second central business district to deal with the increase in the sewage flow from the future development of East Kowloon. An underground balancing tank has been constructed next to the existing Kwun Tong sewage pumping station, KTSPS. The tank would temporarily store the excess preliminary treated sewage from the Kwun Tong preliminary treatment works during the peak hours, and then pump back to the KTPTW during the non-peak hours. And finally, it will convey to the Stonecutter Island sewage treatment works via the Hess Tunnel for further treatment. So this is the design concept of the underground balancing tank. Our existing KTPTW Hess Tunnel capacity is 7.7 meter cube per second. To cater for the future development of East Kowloon, we recognize that an increase in the sewage flow from the future development of East Kowloon may necessitate the construction of a new treatment plant. However, such an endeavor would not only be costly and time-consuming, but also require a significant amount of the land resources. And our analysis revealed that sewage volume can fluctuate substantially during the peak and the non-peak hours. Therefore, in order to optimize our existing resources, we have resolved to construct a 16,000 meter cube of the underground balancing tank. The design of the balancing tank was to capture the excess preliminary treated sewage from the KTPT duct during the peak hours, say the morning time, starting from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., and the evening time, starting from the 6:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then the preliminary treated sewage will be pumped back to the KTPT duct during the non-peak hour and conveyed to the Stonecutter Island for further treatment. Sewage facilities are usually unpopular due to its odor issues and the dull appearance. To eliminate the "not in my backyard" effect, our project team has made a breakthrough. We adopt the concept of single-site multiple use by enclosing the underground balancing tank and its associated facilities, as well as the existing Kwun sewage pumping station by a landscape deck. And the deck was open to the public for public enjoyment since August of 2023. To ensure the public would not be affected by the odor issues, we have three major odor control measures. First of all, the collected sewage will be treated by the chemical dosing, and the balancing tank will be securely covered. Secondly, two-stage biotrickling filter system and activated carbon filter system were installed to eliminate 99.8% of the odors. Last but not least, additional carbon filters are provided at the outlets of the ventilation fans to provide additional protection for the deck users. And the ventilation fan and the outlets of the ventilation would be placed strategically at the edge of the landscape deck facing the Victoria Harbour to be easier to disperse the odor. So this project has successfully transformed the Molinan sewage facilities into 1 hectare paved green deck park, which was highly recognized by the general public and become a very popular spot. This is also the first project that materialized the concept of single-site multiple use for sewage facilities, achieving the livability of one of the most densely populated urban areas of Hong Kong. During the design of the landscape deck, we have introduced a concept of inclusive community. The deck features over 60 playground and educational facilities suitable for the people with various age group and physical abilities. For example, all the play areas and viewing platform at different level heights can be accessed by the barrier-free access. And we also provide inclusive play facilities, such as the merry-go-round suitable for the wheelchair users, different type of swings suitable for various age group and physical abilities, and the dedicated toddler plaza and adult fitness equipment suitable for diverse abilities. To enable the public can enjoy the harborfront area early and echo incremental approach advocated by the Hong Kong government and the Harbourfront Commission, DSD has decided to first restore and beautify a 130-meter long 0.7 hectare section of the promenade near to the Kwun sewage pumping station. The works were complete 7 years ahead of the schedule allowing the public to conveniently access the deck from the waterfront space area. And the deck also adopt the theme of dancing ribbons and extend to the waterfront area. We believe that this cursive and well-proportional white wavy lines can help us to create like the flow of the energy for the communities. This project is another successful demonstration of public engagement. During the design of the landscape deck, we held numerous public engagement activities. For example, we held the Dreamcatchers workshop and invite parents and children to brainstorm the layout of the landscape deck and integrate the needs of the users in the deck park. And we also held the Little Playground Planner workshop, in which the playground was designed by the children, improved by the parents, refined by the designers, and implemented by the engineers. During this workshop, we also introduced the concept of sustainable design to the participants and encouraged them to incorporate more sustainable features in the deck park design. And they proposed the idea to play with nature, and hence the theme of playful nature was evoked. The deck, themed with playful nature, features a mix of native and exotic plants to create an ecological corridor along the Choi-Ping River. It includes butterfly attracting species for educational purpose, visually interesting plants such as the purple fountain grass for sensory play, and the large green terrace buffers that provide habitats for the birds and insects while separating the area from the busy roads. To achieve sustainable design, our project also introduced reclaimed timber for the use of the furniture on the landscape deck. And we also introduced the pixel concept for making the curved paving tile pattern to minimize the cutting and wastage. To promote sustainability and combat the climate change, we have different environmental measures. For example, the plant house underneath the deck can be illuminated with natural lighting through the free skylights to reduce electricity consumption. Solar panels are also installed on the landscape deck to achieve carbon emission reduction. Rainwater harvesting systems are also installed on the deck for irrigation and toilet flushing use to attain the water conservation. Besides, our project also use BEAM model to improve our collaboration, time, and cost management among the project team. And we also use BEAM to facilitate our construction of DFMA. By the adoption of DFMA, it can accelerate the project progress by approximately 3 months and reduce carbon emissions due to the decreased need for the formwork. So this is the video showing our application of the DFMA. With our innovative design and construction, our project has achieved 9 out of 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (UN SDGs). For example, reduced inequalities has been achieved by the introduction of the inclusive community. And due to our iconic and innovative design of the project, our teams has won a lot of the awards, including the Grand Award and Special Citation on UN SDGs at Green Building Award 2023, and the Certificate of Merit at HKIE Grand Award 2024, etc. And this is our project video to summarize my presentation today. And sorry that it only consists of Cantonese version with English subtitle.
今日我哋想介紹一個令大家耳目一新嘅地方——觀塘污水泵房。渠務署喺現有嘅泵房完成咗一系列嘅優化工程，唔單止提升咗現有觀塘區污水處理系統嘅容量，仲特別設計咗一個外形獨特嘅圓景平台，將下面嘅污水設施覆蓋，面積有成1公頃咁大㗎。原本平台以好玩、自然為設計理念，除咗融合大地、天空、陽光、空氣同水呢5個自然元素，仲加入咗好多環保智能嘅設計，好似太陽能板、雨水收集系統同埋環保木材。平台上面有超過60組遊樂設施，適合唔同年紀同能力嘅朋友，等大家都可以盡情玩樂。平台上面仲有無障礙通道同升降機，方便推住 BB 車嘅家長同其他有需要人士使用。呢個唔單止係一個公園，仲係促進社區共融嘅好地方。
我哋設計嘅理念係靈活、多變、好玩、自然，為社區嘅居民提供咗便利同埋舒適嘅生活環境。通過創新嘅設計同埋技術，可以滿足唔同嘅需求，實現一地多用嘅目的。
除咗興建園景平台，渠務署今次仲把握咗泵房優化工程嘅契機，按照政府同埋海濱事務委員會倡議嘅先駁通再優化理念，率先將一段茶果嶺海濱修復，跟住美化成為海濱公園，同時重整咗觀塘污水處理廠嘅佈局，提早完成翠屏海濱嘅跨河通道，成功將茶果嶺同觀塘嘅海濱連接起嚟。九龍東海濱長廊總共延長咗300米添。喺茶果嶺海濱，你可以選擇去靜態區，瞓喺人造草上面，欣賞住維港美景，放鬆心情；亦可以去動態區，享受各種遊樂設施，展現自己活力嘅一面。最正嘅係，呢度仲係寵物友善嘅地方，你可以帶住你嘅毛孩一齊嚟享受海濱嘅樂趣。園景平台同海濱公園唔單止提供一個以河畔城市為主題嘅河畔親水空間，佢哋仲連接咗附近嘅住宅區、康樂設施同埋工商業區，等大家日常出入都更加舒適方便。呢個起喺泵房上面嘅公園同埋海濱公園，成為咗維港嘅新景點。無論係大人定係細路，呢度都能夠滿足你。等我哋一齊享受呢個美妙嘅維港海濱啦！
In fact, ESD has already adopted land co-use principle in various stormwater facilities. What makes our project unique is this is the first ESD project that applied single-site multiple use in sewage facilities. We integrate these facilities with the community and achieve harmony to the adjacent environment. We hope that the public could understand that sewage and leisure facilities can be coexist so as to achieve single-site multiple use. We believe this signature project can set as an example for our future sewage facilities development project. And that's the end of my presentation. And if you have any questions, want to ask about this project, you may feel free to ask in English or 廣東話。
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Engineer Mui. Let's move on to the question and answer section. We have 10 minutes to answer questions from the floor and online. Okay.
John 想問咧，點解你整
sorry，
John 啊，點解我想問咧，點解借張太陽能板咧就裝喺嗰一笪地方，唔將佢裝晒喺所有建築物上面啊？
其實咧，我哋當初設計呢一個嘅園景平台嘅時候咧，我哋希望啦，都想咧盡量咧讓公眾咧有更加多嘅公共空間啦。咁所以咧，我哋就將太陽能板咧就即係我哋只係將一部分嘅太陽能板裝喺我哋嘅園景平台上面咯。同埋就係我哋其實喺設計階段都有考慮到好多唔同嘅因素嘅，例如啦，我哋如果將太多嘅太陽能板放喺我哋嘅園景平台上面咧，有機會咧佢喺日光照落去嘅時候咧，有反光咁嘅效果，咁亦都可能會對影響到我哋附近麗港城嘅居民咁樣咯。咁所以我哋就決定就將一部分嘅太陽能板放喺我哋園景平台嘅最面向維多利亞港嘅邊緣咁樣咯。
Any more questions from the floor? Yes.
Just want to ask you, how often do you change the activated carbon filter and how you monitor the odor from the storage tank?
Actually, the mechanism of the deodorization of units of our project is the collected sewage will be first treated by the chemical dosing, and then and then we will introduce the two-stage biotrickling filter system and activated carbon filter system to eliminate the odors. And our biotrickling filter system will eliminate most of the odors first. So and the remaining odor will be absorbed by the activated carbon filter system. So we don't quite often to replace the activated carbon filter system. And sorry, and your second question is
monitor the odor.
Oh, okay. We have installed sensor to monitor the odors at the at different area of the plant house. So we also frequently conduct inspection to ensure that our landscape deck would not affected by the odor issues. Thank you.
By the way, for the online audience, if you have any questions for Engineer Mui, please put down your questions by using the Q&A feature on the screen. We will attend to your questions as well. Okay, so let me, any more questions? Yes, two more questions. Okay.
點解會諗住喺污水即係佢上面係起公園，同埋當中遇到啲咩嘅 challenge？
其實咧，當初我哋因為其實要起一啲嘅污水設施嘅時候咧，咁難免咧當地嘅附近嘅居民咧都會基於鄰避效應而有所嘅反對嘅。咁所以咧，我哋喺設計階段嘅時候咧，亦都進行咗好多嘅公眾諮詢啊，或者公眾參與嘅活動嘅。咁我哋亦都從中咧了解得到咧，其實我哋附近嘅居民咧，即係可能都想，或者係我哋一啲嘅大眾咧，都想要有更多嘅公共嘅空間，咁先促使到我哋咧將一個咧原本係一個普通嘅綠化平台咧，改變成一個咁靚嘅園景平台咯。咁所以咧，其實我哋呢一個嘅園景平台咧，都可以話係我哋一個社區一個共同嘅成果嚟嘅咯。
Okay. Another question. Yes. The lady first.
咁想問下咧，而家嗰個污水調節池咧有冇用過啊？大概係用過幾多次咁樣啊？
咁其實咧，我哋而家嘅其實我哋嘅污水調節池咧，就喺2022年嘅年底就已經完成咗佢嘅主體工程啦。而喺我哋上年嘅年底咧，亦都完成咗佢嗰個測試嘅階段。咁隨住咧更加多嘅隨住更加多嘅項目發展，例如啟德嘅發展啊，或者係鑽石山綜合發展啊等等嘅項目咧，逐步落成咧，咁我哋預計我哋個污水調節池嘅使用率咧，亦都會越嚟越高嘅。咁而家呢一個嘅階段咧，就我哋都仲係我哋試過咧，就入過一啲嘅海水啊咁樣，但係就仲未去使用過嘅。
你好，我想請教一下呢一個項目嘅背景係原址重建嘅咧，定係新選址興建嘅呢一個處理廠？
其實我哋嗰個嘅 balancing tank， 即係污水調節池咧，係喺我哋舊有嘅觀塘污水泵房旁邊去興建嘅。咁佢主要咧serve 嗰個嘅 purpose 咧，就係因為我哋觀塘基本污水處理廠 KTPTW 喺繁忙時段咧，預計喺將來嘅發展咧，亦都係可能喺處理唔切嗰啲嘅污水量啦。咁所以咧，我哋咧先至會整一個嘅地下污水調節池，用嚟臨時儲存觀塘基本污水處理廠喺繁忙時段未能及時處理得切嘅污水，等到非繁忙時段先再將呢啲嘅污水運翻過去，再去做一個嘅處理咁樣咯。
係呢個 project 都係一個好新穎嘅 integration 啦，即係除咗有 pumping station 之外，有啲 play equipment 擺喺上邊。我想問咧，邊啲 equipment 係你 observe 係最受歡迎？同埋第二條問題就係咧 ，so far 有冇啲 visitor 係發現我喺個 pump farm 度玩緊喎？原來係啦，有冇呢啲 scenario？ 係啦。
咁其實咧，我哋呢一個 project 咧最 iconic 嘅地方咧，就係我哋嘅園景平台上面嗰個嘅 tree house 嘅。咁咧，佢就大概咧 locate 喺我哋依一個嘅位置啦。咁我哋依一個嘅 tree house 咧，即係親樹平台咧，就高8米嘅。咁咧小朋友咧都好中意咧嚟呢度咧，即係爬到咁高嘅地方，然之後玩嗰個上滑梯，去盡情咁樣去展現自己嘅身手咯。咁好多時候咧，咁其實即係啲 visitor 嚟到嘅時候咧，咁都發覺唔到咧，其實呢一個係觀塘即係一個污水泵房嘅地方咯。因為佢因為我哋工程團隊啦，亦都好落力咁樣咧，去將一啲咁可能原本咧好惡滯咁嘅形象嘅污水設施咧，就改變成一個充滿活力嘅地方咁樣咯。咁所以佢哋都好難察覺到呢一個係一個污水泵房咯，或者係污水設施咯。
唔好意思，仲有一個問題想請教一下，就係基於上呢個污水處理sorry 呢一個設施上面咧係一個公眾使用嘅空間。咁請問喺設計嘅時候有冇偏向於尋求一啲維護性比較低以及可以長期使用、免維護成本嘅設施咁樣嘅一個選擇咧？
其實我哋考慮到即係我哋喺設計階段考慮到唔同即係遊樂設施嘅時候咧，都會考慮到佢哋嘅物料，佢個durability 啦，即係佢嘅耐力啦，或者係佢容唔容易去維修啊，或者佢會唔會影響對我哋嘅使用者會有安全嘅問題啊等等咁樣嘅因素嘅。咁例如啦，我哋我哋設計嗰啲上滑梯嘅時候咧，咁我哋亦都有考慮到咧，唔同嘅用家佢哋嘅需求啦。譬如係點解我哋會有啲嘅物料係會用到塑膠咧？或者係用到一啲嘅鋼咁嘅物料咧，就係因為可能考慮到咧，就係有啲咧需要用助聽器嘅小朋友咧，佢哋玩起上嚟嘅時候咧，可能會有啲靜電咁樣嘅影響。咁所以咧，我哋有喺設計嘅階段嘅時候咧，亦都除咗考慮到容唔容易維修之外啦，亦都有好多其他因素會考慮到嘅。
Well, there's one question online. But, let me read the questions. The question is basically about the car park. There's no car park at the site. What is the reason why?
Actually, when we design the landscape deck, we aim to provide more public space to the public, and provision of the car parking will require a significant amount of the land resources. So we tend to not providing car park, but provide more public space for the general public.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We have time for the last questions.
我想請問咧，個公園起到咁靚咧，喺個區域嗰度咧，係咪因為嗰附近啲居民聞到啲臭味咧，整到咁靚咁就係等佢唔多角咧咁樣樣，又見到好多植物喺度。
咁其實咧，首先咧，我哋起完個公園之後咧，咁我哋基本上都冇乜點樣收到咧附近居民嘅投訴咧，就話關於附近有好嚴重嘅臭味啦。咁所以咧，其實佢哋一去到呢一個公園嘅時候咧，都唔覺得呢一個公園係一個污水嘅設施嚟嘅。咁但係如果翻轉頭啦，喺我哋 design 喺我哋設計階段嘅時候咧，咁其實因為我哋咧一開始都唔諗住咧將呢一個嘅園景平台咧開放俾公眾去使用嘅，但係後尾就係因為咧我哋透過各種嘅公眾參與同埋公眾諮詢嘅活動咧，咁就發現咧，咁原來佢即係附近嘅居民咧，即係都想有更多嘅公共空間，先促使我哋咧渠務署去多行一步，去將呢一個嘅原本嘅綠化天台咧，打造成一個嘅園景平台咁樣咯。咁希望咧可以將呢一個嘅鄰避效應咧減到最低，而令到咧我哋呢一個社區咧都可以有更加好即係佢哋嘅生活質素咧可以更加有所提升咁樣咯。
Okay, let's thank Engineer Mui again.
Thank you.
Let's proceed with the presentation of the next awarded paper. May I introduce our second awardee, Mr. CHAN Tsz Ho. Mr. Chan is now a support engineer in MTR Corporation Limited. He will present his awarded paper on machine learning model for dissolved gas analysis, methodological review with a case in Hong Kong. Let's welcome Mr. Chan.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, all the guests here. Very glad that we have all of you tonight. And my topic tonight would be machine learning models for dissolved gas analysis, methodological review with a case in Hong Kong. So this will be a quick overview of today's agenda. We will begin with an introduction to DGA, and we will go through some issues with traditional DGA approaches and how our new methodology in developing ML models will help, and some future insights. So transformers are very important in a power system, that's for no doubt. And it operates under electrical and thermal stresses. And that's why the insulating liquids serve as the primary medium to maintain the reliability of transformers. And these liquids have several roles. The first role is to act as an insulating medium between the live part and the shell of the transformers. And since the transformer operates under high temperature, it also serves as a medium of cooling. And the third feature is that it provides arc quenching capabilities so that we can ensure operational stability during, for example, switching events. And there are many different types of insulating liquids, and the most common ones are mineral oil, silicon liquids, and synthetic ester. So dissolved gas analysis, or DGA for short, is a diagnostic tool for monitoring transformer health. It operates under the principle that electrical and thermal faults inside a transformer can cause the pyrolysis or the degradation of the insulating liquid so that gases will be released and they are dissolved in the oil during the process. There are different types and different quantities of the gases released during the process, and they can give us some insights into the nature of the fault. In IEC 605/99, it mentions quite a few gases that are deemed crucial. For example, hydrogen, methane, ethane, ethylene, and acetylene. And all these would hint at different possible faults, for example, thermal faults, discharge, and overheating, and so on. Only a subset of these gases are consistently monitored in a majority of DGA, and it could also introduce potential opportunities for missing diagnosis in some complex fault scenarios. And the key issues with some traditional DGA approaches, firstly, is that it lacks a universally accepted threshold or rigid interpretation rules, and it is mainly manifested in some operational variability. We can see there are multiple standards. For example, as I mentioned, IEC 605/99, but all of them provide only guidance, but there is no rigid interpretation or straightforward guidelines, and it leaves lots of room for interpretation. And so this would place heavy reliance on expert judgment, and therefore the results are sometimes very subjective. Also, many of the white papers or the standards are made on large transformers, and therefore for smaller transformers which operates under different ratings and thermal and electrical conditions, we are not quite sure whether they would conform to these kind of thresholds. And also, of course, as I said, we can only flag these transformers as faulty, and we are unable to delve into a more customized set or more customized network of transformers. So many scholars have delved into machine learning models and to see whether they can give us some new insights into DGA. But machine learning is a fairly new and very complicated and very different field from traditional engineering. And there are also a lot of potential difficulties that we need to overcome. The first one is the lack of healthy data. So the standard did provide typical gas concentrations for example, healthy transformers, but they don't really account for variances due to, for example, operational context, like different loading, different ratings, and different environmental conditions. And although we can see some definitions from IEC standard, the wordings are here, but they are pretty arcane. They just say some typical values, blah, 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 are exceeded by only an arbitrary percentage of higher gas contents, for example, 10%. So the words are there, but the interpretations are very wide, and it really relies on expert judgments a lot of time. Secondly, DGA data values have very eccentric or very special distributions. We can see it has three main characteristics. The first one is that it is right skewed meaning that all the data is tending to the left side of the chart, and therefore the values are all squeezed together. Second is that the data set is heavily leptokurtic. Leptokurtic meaning that it has fat tails, which also means that the mean and the median values are quite meaningless in the traditional sense. The third characteristic is the heteroscedasticity, which means that it has very high variations of standard deviations. As we can see, the values on the left are all squeezed together, but as the value tend to the right, they are all scattered, which means that the standard deviation are different along different axes. And so these would violate many traditional models assumptions. For example, they do not follow a normal distribution. There are a lot of extreme values, and we can't really apply traditional linear models such as linear regression or using percentile understanding and so on. And that's why using machine learning models would be a possible way out. And the third issue is that threshold-based analysis is always prone to sensitivity issue. And this chart would be a very good representation because we can see there are many faulty and there are many non-faulty, or so as to say healthy transformer data. We can see there are many overlapping values. They are not wrong values, but they are very noisy because during experiments, you always get some values that are overlapping. You get experimental errors, you get some sort of environmental influence into the experiments. And that's why threshold-based methods are usually not the best way to apply to these kind of judgments. And with all those reasons above, it is a very good opportunity for us to delve into other non-traditional models, for example, machine learning models. So in tackling machine learning models or data science problems, the first important step is to understand the problem. Now, machine learning is a very wide field. It has a lot of subsets. In this problem, we would define it as a supervised learning, which means that we have the tagged data. We have the healthy data and the unhealthy data, and we teach the machine to learn which are the healthy ones and which are not. And these would fall under the category called classification problem. And after understanding the problem, the subsequent steps are relatively easy because if you are using the right tools and if you are clear about what you are going to do, the subsequent steps are really just simple lines of Python scripts. For example, in the second step, we want to get the training data, and this can be easily imported by just one line of train test split in the scikit-learn module. In preparation of the data, we will apply some transformation so that we can make the data set more better or tailored to the different machine learning models. And to the fourth step, we will explore different models. And the fifth step, we will evaluate and to present our solution. So we get our training data. As I said, it's just one line of code. It's relatively simple. But this is also quite problematic because all the data are squeezed together. So it's not easy for us to see which data point are healthy and which are faulty. So this would be something that we want more. We can clearly see that there are different clusters of points here and there, and it is easier for humans' eyes to differentiate the data points already. And it's also very important for the machine models for them to learn from these kind of features, because when the scales are not properly scaled, they are not uniform. It is more difficult for the optimization algorithms to run on. And if it is a good situation, it just takes more time. In a bad situation, it simply doesn't work. So how do we turn from this into this? We will apply some transformation. And one of the transformation that we find very useful is the Yo-Johnson transformation. And this one is pretty technical, but the gist is that it reduces the Kullback-Leibler information number. And this relates to the entropy of the cross entropy of the transform distribution and the normal distribution. So to give it a more intuitive understanding, if we just do the normalization, the typical normalization, it doesn't really work because there are too many outliers, too many extreme values. If we do log and normalization as some other scholars, other study do, it will be better, but it's still not the best. And for the third method, we use the YJ transformation. It will become a lot more Gaussian-like. So for the fourth step, we explore different models. As I said, is in Python, if you understand the model architectures, it just takes you 1 or 2 lines to initialize the models and to train the models. And this is a very good intuition for us to understand how each model architectures would interpret these kind of data points and how they would classify different data points into healthy or faulty classes. The fifth step, as I said, is to evaluate which model is the best. Of course, we can use our eyes and to intuitively say which model is the best one. But the best way to do it is to use some mathematical or more quantitative measures. And it is also an art. It is not an exact science because there are tons of metrics to be used, even just for classification problems. Many would opt for accuracy, but accuracy would be prone to imbalanced data sets, meaning that if the data set is heavily imbalanced towards, for example, the healthy side, then the accuracy will be compromised because of the equation that if the denominator is so big and your numerator is also that big, the accuracy will inevitably be very high in the majority side. And so we would opt for the F1 score because F1 score is a balance between precision and recall. And this, for us, would be the most equitable measure to our current problem. And so we do cross-validation, meaning that we will divide the data set into 5 subclasses and to train and to validate our models in each epoch, and we will do that for every other class. And this is the result we get. So how do we interpret this chart? Basically, the area under this curve is bigger, the better the model. So we can see for example, for the yellow line here, it performs pretty well, both from the PR curve and the ROC curve. So with the numbers, we can see the F1 score are pretty high for support vector, classifier, and random forest. They are both achieving over 80% of the metrics, and therefore we think that they are the best solution with our methodology. So in conclusion, we did try a lot of combination of the data set, model architecture, different data preprocessing techniques, and these are the conclusion we have. The first one is that balanced data and imbalanced data doesn't really show significant disparity as long as you use the right or the suitable data transformation technique. The second thing is that data leakage would occur in, for example, some studies because the steps are not performed well. the best way to do is to transform the data after the train test splitting. Train test split is very important because on one thing, you need to hide the secret from the test part so that we are really testing on the real data, not leaking the knowledge to the test set. The second reason is that we can do cross-validation on a train test per se, so that we can fine-tune our model to find the best parameters for the models, and then we can apply them directly and to see their effects on the test set. The third insight is that the Yeo-Johnson transformation was the best one, as we can see in the earlier comparison. The last conclusion was that random forest and support vector classifier with a radio basis function kernel would perform the best. So that's the end for my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I welcome any questions from Chinese or English. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chan. Let's move on to the question and answer sessions. Again, I would like to invite questions from the audience. For those participating online, please submit your questions using the Q&A feature available on your screen. Okay, any questions from the floor? Yes.
Okay. There are different method for DGA and detection. So how can you know which one to use for your data? I mean, different method have different detection limit, and the accuracy, also different bandwidth equipment have different as well. How can you choose the best data for analysis? Also, have you considered using different error function for your model analysis as well? I mean, choosing the DGA data, which equipment method to use, and equipment that may make a difference in your data, in your modeling as well.
Yes, thank you for your question. That was a very good question. Regarding the inaccuracies during DGA gas detection, I would say the margin of error are pretty small compared to the data we have. For example, when we are looking at the faulty data, the values in ppm, they can range from thousands to even tens of thousands. And for a typical gas detection through chromatography, the error is usually much lower than that. And sorry, could you repeat?
The gas chromatography also depends on the detector you use. So using MS detector, TCD detector, you got different results.
Yes, indeed. But the margin of error is considerably much lower than the distinction that we can make from the models. And in this particular case, it is not much of a concern. But that's a very good idea because indeed, in different, we are using a data set called the TC10 data set. They are coming from different companies, and the committee actually have to verify those numbers, and they will have to make some standardized procedures that guide the companies to do the gas and make sure the values are consistently accurate. And that's also something that we need to be concerned when we are picking the data, because the data are the essential ingredients for building the machine learning models. And indeed, the quality of the data is of utmost importance. Thank you so much.
Okay. We received a question from the online audience. Let me read the questions. How is the machine learning model adopted in engineering practice?
Thank you so much for the question. It is indeed another very good question. I would say that traditional engineering traditional engineers often find it very challenging to adopt ML into their maintenance task, because the philosophy is fundamentally different. Engineering stems from physics, and from this physics based standpoint, viewing data science, it would introduce a lot of uncertainties and statistical assumptions. And this is one of the things that would trouble many engineers. And I would say that we will have to explore different scenarios where ML models would apply. For example, in DGA, we have a lot of test data. We have tagged data sets. We have healthy data, unhealthy data. And this sets a very good starting point for us to develop ML models. But in some other cases, if we are really strict about the threshold, if we are we already have a very good set of guidance, and we just need to follow the guidance to make some decision, then machine learning models is mostly superfluous. But in many cases, if the models are non-linear, they are very complex, the relationship is not easily understood by simple models, then we can try to turn to machine learning models and to see if there are any insights that can give us.
Any more questions? I have one question.
Yes, please.
Well, you mentioned the training data set is very important for your machine learning analysis, and you have healthy data. You have not healthy data. How do you distinguish, or how do you evaluate the quality of the data sets?
That is also a very good question. This is one of the key questions when we are developing our ML models. In this study, we made a few assumptions. The unhealthy data are taken from the TC10 dataset, which are the set of values that are published by the TC10 committee. And they are the values that are verified by the experts that the transformer has faulted due to various reasons. For example, there are electrical tracking, there are some discharge, or there are some defects in the bushings, and so on. And for the healthy part, we pick the data from the transformer, the value from which 5 years has passed. So this would at least give us an insight that the healthy data would imply the transformer can live for another at least 5 years.
Well, there's another question from our online audience. Other than DGA, is there any other aspects that machine learning can be adopted?
Well, of course, there are a lot. Depending on the industry, depending on the actual use cases, there are definitely chances that we can use machine learning models to give us some insights. I would say the fundamental ideas is that we will have to get enough data. So that's what big data means, like the 3 Vs, or you need healthy data, quality data. There are all sorts of conditions that you will have to satisfy. But all in all, as long as you have the data, you have the right problem, you can formulate the right approach to it, then machine learning would be a good approach.
Okay. We have another question.
Perhaps a simple question. How many data sets you have used to train your models, and how long have you trained your models?
In this study, we used 2 data sets. The first one, yes, 2 data sets. The first data set is called the TC10 data set. It is obtained from the TC10 committee. The second data set is, I framed it as the Hong Kong data set, which is taken from a certain Hong Kong-based company who has around 400 to 500 transformers. And the data points are roughly 200.
In total?
200. Oh, how long? And if just for the training part, not counting the coding part, it would take about like 5 minutes. Because 200 data point is really little compared to other big data application. For example, when we are analyzing geospatial data or even like financial data, there are millions or trillions of data. And in our case, 200 data point is really, really minuscule.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Chen again. Okay, we proceed to the next presentation. Let me introduce our third awardee of today's lecture, Ms. Chan Chin Jolie. Ms. Chan is an electrical and mechanical engineer at the Drainage Services Department. She will present her awarded paper on environmental awareness in machines, a case study of automated debits removal using generative artificial intelligence and vision language models. Let's welcome Ms. Chan.
Thank you. And thank you all of you being here today. I'm truly honored to receive this award. And this recognition is not just a personal achievement, and I would like to, it reflects the collective efforts and innovation of my research team members in the Drainage Service Department. And I also want to take this chance to also acknowledge all the young engineer and researcher who contribute to the advancing science and engineering. And I think each submitted paper is emphasize commitments to innovation, and I feel very privileged that I can have a chance to talk today here, and which my work is just one among so many submitted paper. And I also extend my heartfelt thanks to HKIE and the judge for the opportunity for me to share my works here, and also my supervisor and colleagues at the Drainage Service Department. And also, today is the International Mountains Day. I don't know if any one of you know about that, which reminds of the beauty and the importance of our planet's mountainous regions. And I also remind a profound statement by our Mr. Xi that clear water and green mountains are as valuable as gold and silver mountains. And just as we cherish the natural resources of our mountains, we must also protect the ecosystem that exists in our rivers and waterways. With that in mind, I'm excited to discuss our innovative mechanical graphs designed to clear river of debris while ensuring the safety of wildlife. Here's my agenda today, and I will start with the background and literature review. DSC endeavors to control flood risks in Hong Kong, and we're managing over 360 kilometers of engineered channels currently. And the world is now grappling with the profound impacts of climate change. From rising sea levels to more frequent and intense rainfall events, the challenges are mounting. Flooding is one of the most immediate and devastating consequence of heavy rainfall, and it disrupts lives, damage infrastructure, and poses serious risk to public safety. And water channel, that we plays a critical role in directing excess water during heavy rains. However, the accumulation of washed down debris could impede the water flow and cause flooding at the adjacent area, just like the photo shown in my PowerPoint. And currently, we are using a traditional debris cleaning method, which relies on human workers. However, with the flowing waters, the slippery surface, and some unpredicted weather scenario will pose a significant safety concern. And timely removal of those debris also not able to perform during the adverse weather, which during that time, the debris will accumulate at that time. So it cannot tackle the challenge due to climate change. So how about we change from manual clearance to robotics and machinery? Could that solve our problem? And it's come with another problem. The tragedy in South Korea, where a man was crushed to death by a robot that failed to differentiate him from the boxes when he was handling it, according to a report, which serves as a straight remark on the urgent needs of enhanced safety measures during this human and robotic interactions. And this incident highlight the critical challenge that arises as robot is now becoming increasingly autonomous in the environment where human presence is unavoidable. It is imperatively to prioritize safety technology that can prevent such devastating accidents. And this not only serve a wake-up call for the industry, but also emphasize the importance of developing a solution that allows humans and robots to work together safely and effectively. And we try to come up with a solution with some emerging technology in artificial intelligence. And in order to facilitate the understanding of the AI part of our developed solution, let me have some time to introduce two concepts of AI. The first one I would like to introduce is the traditional object detection model, which are using computer vision, which is a deep learning neural network for image, which is trained by thousands of labeled image for image classification and also object detection. And after the training and fine-tuning, the model can learn the features of the image. For example, the cat in my PowerPoint. And it can know the features of a cat is like a triangular shaped face with large almond-shaped eyes, upright pointed ears. And then it can identify the cats from the rest of the dots, and it knows what is the cat. And the second AI concept I would like to introduce is the vision language model. This is actually a vision-enabled large language model. Large language model is that like ChatGPT that we're using. It combines a visual understanding with language reasoning to interpret and connect image with text. And let me further explain with the example shown here that with the horse with black-white strip is zebra. And by combining these visual features, the strip and the shape of horses with the textual description, the model can then correct deduce that the animal in the image is a zebra, even if it hasn't explicitly learned about what is a zebra. And the model can use a reasoning to connect some known concept like horses and strip to form a logical conclusion. And visual language model are transforming how machine understand and reason about the world and bridging the gap about what they see and what they know. And so they can understand some abstract terms like human, like we do. And now we come back to my AI model selection in this debris removal in water channel. Besides the traditional object detection model like YOLO, the YOLO shows the YOLO version 7, which is commonly deployed in commercial scenario to detect human and animals. And we have also chosen a vision language model, which is Grinding Dino and RIP2 for evaluation and comparison to see if it can tackle the challenge of this kind of traditional object detection model. For example, like partial visibility, small object detection, variability in appearance, and also to understand the abstract concept. Theoretically, and this VLM could leverage pre-training on dataset, use textual prompts for contextual comprehension and reduce development costs. And based on the above being considered, then we developed a good graphs. A good graph, the full name of good graphs is Generative AI Object Oriented Debris Graph. So we call it good graphs. And it is the first outdoor automated mechanical grab system in water channel in Hong Kong. And possibly it reaches the first use case of using generative AI and the vision language model for such case in the world. And the facts, here's the facts of the good grab with 5 main features, which F stand for the functionality, debris cleaning for sure. And the A about the availability, that it can operate under adverse weather. And the C, the cost effectiveness, so it can carry out on-demand clearing, save energy. It can target to the debris, and which is not just timely and grab anything without grabbing any debris. And the 4th one is technology. T for technology, using latest generative AI and open set object detections. And the S for safety. The mechanical grab stops when human or animals are detected. I will then introduce the methodology that we use when developing this good grab. Abstraction layer. Actually, it is this concept is widely employed in software and complex system analysis. And designed to optimize performance and efficiency. By breaking the system into this distinct abstraction layer, each layer is developed, test, and evaluate independently of each other, which can also streamline the system development by enabling some parallel workflow, localized change, and component reuse, making them vital tools for achieving speed and efficiency in a complex system. At the bottom one of our design is the physical layer, which representing the mechanical grab. It is capable to travel to the location of the debris and removing up to 500 of debris at a time. And the control layer is the PLC that governs the grab actions, ensuring precise movement and coordination. And the 3rd one is the localization layer, which is used to pinpoint the exact location of the debris where it is. And the main one, the heart of the system, which lies in the AI-powered detection layer, which consists of with the 3 models as mentioned. And the top layer is the application layer, which converts video feeds from cameras into analyzable image, which can then process by the detection layer. And actually, the detection layer is where the metrics happen. The system uses AI model to continuous monitoring the environment of debris, if there is any human or animals. If the debris is detected without the presence of any living objects, living things, and the system will initiate a grabbing actions. Conversely, if a human or animal is detected, the grab action is abort, and an alert is sent to the operator that there is a human, and it will not move anymore. This multi-layer approach, which ensure both system efficiency and safety. And our model were fine-tuned, validated, and evaluated by this kind of CCTV image, including some animal intrusion that we use our toy dog to like animal intrusion. We don't use any real animal for safety, and also maintenance work, empty channel condition, and also pedestrian activities at the side of the channel. And to evaluate the system performance, we compare the 3AI model that I've mentioned before, the YOLO version 7, which is a widely used object detection model, and which is known for its speed and efficiency. And Grinding is a vision language model capable for open set object detections, and it scores the highest MCC point, which is the best performance among 3 of them. And Blip2 is a generative AI which with advanced visual language answering capability. While each model has its strength and weakness, the combination of Blip2 and Grinding proved to be the most effective one for our applications. BLIP2 use its generative capability to identify a comprehensive list of living objects, and while grounding DINO, provide precise object detection and also localization function. And together, they give the system with true awareness, and enabling it to detect living objects beyond those specified in its training data. Just like the example shown on the screen, and a swarm was not specified in our training data set, which could be used the BLIP2 to add into the predefined list of grounding DINO and perform the detection. So even if we don't train it with a swarm, it's no swarm is a living object and will stop the grabbing action. And here, and the system, we have do some rigorous tests, and including we have a real life deployment at a Kong channel, which is in the north of Hong Kong. And here's the grabbing actions. During the grabbing action, actually, it's performed 6 scans in the detection blocks within 2 seconds, and after it find the debris, and it will go to catch it up to remove it from the river, which is the on-demand grabbing, so it won't use extra energy. And however, we have also to ensure the reliability and safety. We have incorporated several safeguards. The first one is during the grabbing action process, if we scan any detected humans or animals, the action will stop, just like in the video. So, and when the camera can sense a dog leg moving near the grab, it stops its function. And this, to ensure safety. And we have also a fallback procedure. If there is no grabbing action occurred within the predefined time frame, an alert will send to the operator. And also, we are trying to also minimize false alarm, and alert are only triggered after the grabbing action begins and repeats detection across multiple scans. And these kind of safeguards ensure that the system operates with high sensitivity while minimizing false positive and unnecessary interruption. And during the severe rainstorms in September last year, the most intense rainfall events in Hong Kong history, the system successfully cleared debris while preventing flooding in the surrounding area. Now I'm coming to the end of the sharing. In summary, good grab significance enhance safety, eliminating risks of damage and injury and save costs and energy when comparing to the manual clearing and mechanical grab solely. And so in conclusion, the integration of generative AI and vision language model into automatic mechanical grab system represent transformative leaps forward in stormwater management. By endowing the system with awareness, we have demonstrated that it is possible to combine operational efficiency with uncompromising safety. And this innovation has the potential to refoliation not only flood management, but also wide range of industry, where a human-machine interaction is a critical factor. As we continue to explore the possibility of AI, let's embrace this advancement to build a safer, more efficient, and more sustainable future. And for robotics, the role of human being in the control loop has undergone a significant transformation, evolving from being in the loop to on the loop, and more recently to being out of the loop, as the system is more autonomous. As highlighted in the keynote speech, the progression reflects a shift towards a truly autonomous systems utilize artificial intelligence. While this evolution may seem like reach a quota, signaling an endpoint is also prelude to new possibility. Encouragingly for the engineering profession, this transformation paved the way of human-robot collaboration, where humans work alongside the loop with robots safely. Ultimately, we together with robot, physical and virtual, we become co-creator, collaborating to shape the future of humanity. Although our good grasp has not fully realized this version yet, it signals a meaningful prelude to the future of collaborative and co-creative robots. And thank you. I look forward to your questions and insights. And English or Chinese is welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Chan. Okay, we now come to the questions and answer sessions. May I please invite questions from the audience? For the online questions, the online audience, please submit your questions using the Q&A feature on your screen. Any questions? Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2.
Excuse me, can you show me the slides about the symposium, the annual symposium? Because I was there, but at the audience. Yes, I'm the audience. Yes, I understand what it means by in the loop, on the loop, and the loop as presented, as given by Mr. Alfred Seed at that symposium. But can you explain about the concept of collaborative and co-creative robots?
Collaborative and
Co-creative robots.
Actually, these kind of robots are designed to work alongside humans, enhancing efficiency and simplifying various tasks. For example, now we are using like a robot, maybe where we try to train the robots to do, to maybe train to load a dishwasher. And how to say, actually we can first train the robot. Maybe we can train it to pick grocery in one sense, and then we can like transfer its learning, like picking grocery to select some component in factories. And the flexibility of the robots shows the potential to contribute across different environments and also different in various industry. And so it can like co-creative together. And also the robot together, they can like wirelessly transfer what they learn from one robot to another robot, and which can cause a collaborative amongst the robot in different industry, and which can, it really is transferable. And this is like collaborating environments.
You have used toy dot in your video, and I'm just wondering, how do you distinguish the toy dot from real dots? Is there any wrong detection that may occur?
Actually, for vision language model, it is very simple. It's don't really, for us, actually, we don't really care if it is real or toy, because in the river, if we saw something that's like looks like living things, and I think we would, no matter how we will stop the grabbing actions, because life is the most important in our scenario. That's why we also use MCC as our scoring during our training, because we want to, even we detect the toy wrongly, but we don't want to wrongly grab something seems to be real. Yeah, so we have tried to unbalance a bit our performance data of our AI, because we want to value the safety over debris. Because even if we cannot grab the debris in the next scan, maybe in the scan in the next second, and we can still grab the debris because the debris will be still there, and we can it is not really timely. So we valued safety more in our case.
Thank you.
What happened if you have a dead body of a dog? So that means the whole grab will stop until you clear the dead body.
Yes, that's why we have different level of safeguards. For the first one from the skin, it will stop. But however, we also have a fallback procedure. That's if the grab stop for a long time, it will give alert to our operator, and our operator can also remotely have the alert, and they will patrol to the area. Yeah. So
24 hours a day.
Hmm?
That means the operator will work 24 hours a day.
We got colleagues that work 24 hours a day for sure, because we have to ensure our drainage and sewage system in a healthy way. And however, actually, this kind of grabbing the debris is not a very timely job. So I think we can also allow this to happen. So we got this kind of fallback procedures.
Other questions?
你好，我用廣東話提問啊。我想請教一下咧，作為一個用 AI 嘅研究者，我想請問一個問題係如果我哋用常規嘅呢一個手段去做圖像判別嘅話，我哋好似你嘅報告裡面講到，佢係會話例如話人喺蹲下嘅時候，或者係一啲動物係冇面對鏡頭嘅時候，佢係有一種系統性嘅判斷失誤嘅。咁當然啦，呢一個係因為我哋嘅系統訓練嘅時候係有特定嘅原因，有一個特定嘅一啲模型。咁相當於換句話嚟講，只要我哋避免呢一種系統性嘅情況下，佢嘅判別嘅原因同埋判別嘅嗰個成功率都會上升。咁但係如果我哋用 AI 模型去作為判別嘅話，因為 AI 模型佢係一個黑箱模型嚟嘅，佢係俾唔到理由話俾你知點解我哋判別得到或者判別唔到。咁其實會唔會喺某種程度上更加提高咗呢一個風險咧？即係我舉個例子，如果話我哋喺避免呢一個蜷縮狀態下，佢可以有%稍微高啲嘅成功率判別到人體，但有一定嘅邏輯證據嘅。如果用 AI 模型嘅話，佢判斷識別得出嚟同識別唔出嚟，佢係俾唔出理由嘅。會唔會有更加可能喺某啲程度上會有更加高嘅風險？唔該。
咁你好，咁係啦，咁我答呢個問題啦。咁其實咧，佢係啦，咁傳統佢所謂傳統嘅技術咧，其實你講緊另外一啲object detection model 咧，其實佢都係一個machine learning 嘅系統嚟嘅。咁譬如我哋 YOLO 嗰啲咧，咁佢哋咧就我哋發覺咧，佢就係度唔到一個人，即係其實我哋好大部分咧個 grab 喺嗰個位咧，我啲同事咧係背住個 grab 嘅，咁但係 YOLO 嗰都做唔到。咁我哋可以點樣改善咧？我哋就俾到好多咧，係望住背脊嘅地方 train 佢，佢一樣係一個 black box 嚟嘅，因為始終係 machine learning model， 佢唔係一個 rule base， 即係唔係 symbolic model。咁佢 machine learning 啦，咁呢個 YOLO 啊嗰啲，咁佢睇唔到嘅。我哋揾咗去測試過，咁我哋譬如做完一批之後咧，咁就發覺如果佢哋嘅譬如 high visibility vest 啊，佢哋工藝唔同咧，佢哋動作唔同，有啲踎喺度，一背喺度咧，咁佢都會認唔到嘅，因為本身佢冇咗一個 logic 咧，係判斷究竟嗰件咩嚟嘅咯。咁 even 咧，咁我哋點解會特登揾隻玩具狗去做測試咧？因為嗰隻狗咧就係我哋就係睇佢咧就係背脊即係咁向嘅。一般咧 YOLO 嗰啲咧，其他嗰啲咧，佢當佢咧面啊側啊咁 OK， 但係我哋發覺如果佢當佢做隻假嘅背向咧，佢真係唔知係狗嚟嘅喎。咁佢都係一個 close set 嚟嘅，我哋叫佢認狗啦。咁佢唔識得認咧，就係佢係任何一種生物嚟嘅，所以佢就認唔到咯。咁我哋呢個咧就同測試翻咧，就同原本嗰啲 traditional 嘅所謂 computer vision model 去比。因為如果講翻係rule base 咧，就唔會出現喺我哋所謂嗰啲 image 嗰啲 object detection 嘅 model 嗰度噶啦。
想再補充多少少，因為如果你講翻 traditional 嘅 rule base 咁其實佢需要嘅 training 就會更加多，即係我哋嗰個 training 嗰個 development cost 就會多啲啦。不過都想再分享多少少，因為咧我哋呢個 project 已經係講緊喺上年嘅年中去去進行㗎啦。咁其實我都以我所知啊，而家就算 YOLO 都有 YOLO World，即係已經嗰個都日新月異得好快，即係其實 AI model 嗰個進展都好快。咁其實可能去到某個佢都會加咗一啲 open vocabulary 嘅元素喺入邊咯。咁就算 YOLO，即係其實我諗 YOLO 自己都知道佢有啲 limitation，咁佢就一路咁樣做 evolve，即係 evolution。我諗呢個都係即係成個 AI 嘅 model，大家會一路去試唔同嘅嘢。
係啦，即係阿 Johnny 簡單啲講咧，即係話咧，我哋當時2023年頭起單 project 咧，我哋就會將幾個 system combine 埋咧，就係做一個 open 嘅 object set detection。咁我哋2023年中咧，我哋 complete 咗啦，就好開心啦。咁原來我哋到咗2024年頭咧 ，YOLO 出咗 YOLO World 咧，我哋個 technology 咧就已經係呢一個階段性啦，已經。咁我諗 AI 咧都大家會遇到呢個問題咯，但係我哋好多謝 Hong Kong IE 咧，佢都俾個機會我哋即係講翻我哋點樣 process。佢可能其實覺得就唔係個結果緊要，其實係個過程緊要啊。因為我哋過程就係當時冇嘅，我哋 develop，我哋發覺 gap，咁我哋去做。就 rather 咧就我哋等 AI 進展啲先啦。咁如果咁咧就有個好奇怪嘅現象啦，我哋就永遠喺度等緊嘅 AI 咧幾時就做到咯。
Okay, good. Any more questions? Okay, and there's no questions from the online audience. Okay, okay. So let's thank Ms. Chen again. Okay, thank you for all the speakers. I would like to deliver the closing remarks. All the awarded papers this year have been presented. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the awardees who dedicated their time and expertise to sharing their remarkable works. Your contributions have truly enriched this event and inspired us all. The 3 awarded papers presented today have already been published in the awarded issue of the Hong Kong IE Transactions. Please visit the Hong Kong IE Transactions website to read them in detail. Looking ahead, the Hong Kong IE Outstanding Paper Award for Young Engineers and Researchers 2025 will soon open for paper submissions. I encourage all aspiring young engineers and researchers to seize this opportunity and share their research accomplishments. Let's continue to foster innovation and excellence in engineering, and I hope to see you again next year. Thank you.